Good afternoon, guys. This is Mike over at RV Connection. Today we are taking a look at the 2025 Forest River Salem Hemisphere 271RL. That's rear living. First thing you're going to do when you get to your campsite is your electric tongue jack. You want to get this up and off of your truck. It does have a down function as well. It is important to note, if you ever lose power to this tongue jack, there is a manual override option and a tool that will come with this camper in your pass-through storage outside. That's going to be the first thing when you get it off the truck. That way you don't have any issues. It's not connected. There's no issues running into each other. That's the safest way to do it. Just like any other camper, you're going to want to hook your power source to it next with your cable. Most of these are going to be a twist lock connection. Like any other one we've talked about before, you're going to want to push it in, twisting that lock, and then tightening your lock ring around it to make sure you have a good and steady connection. Very vital to the amperage on your camper. You can lose amperage, you could have a loose wire that sparks. A lot of bad things can happen when you don't have good electrical. So make sure you give it that extra twist and lock it in with that ring. Now I can't move it anywhere. Now you have good power to your camper. Next, you're going to want to connect your sewer hose. Just like any other one we've talked about before, you're going to want to look for these little nubs on the end of it. Your sewer hose kit, 9 times out of 10, will come with little claws on the connection end. That way they can lock around these nubs. And they've been kind enough to make it all in one. So you've got 2 gray tanks, one for your galley, i.e. your kitchen, and one for your bathroom. And then you have your black tank back here. So whichever tank you want to dump, you're just going to pull this handle all the way out, and it will allow that tank to dump. They all come down to this one connection, so you don't need multiple sewer hose kits. Next, you're going to want to connect your water to your camper. It is very important, and they will generally be very clearly labeled which connection is which. Personal experience, you hook up that hose to the black tank flush and you think it's the city water, it's going to be a really, really dirty day. So make sure you're reading these labels properly. Once you've got your water connected, you can go ahead and cut the hose on. When you are on city water, you're going to use the pressure from the pre-existing system at whatever park you are plugged in at, so there's no need to cut your water pump on. In the event you are doing some boondocking camping, this is your fresh tank fill valve, so you'll want to fill your tank through this nozzle, and then you will also need to turn on your water pump inside, which I will show you here in a minute, to get the water pumping through your camper. Now you might be wondering, what's this hole right here in my J-wrap? That is a access hole. So in the event you lose power to your camper, you can manually pull this slide in. If you'll look down there, there's a big cylindrical piece jutting out from the frame. That is what this hole is for, is so you can get your tool that will come with your camper onto that spindle and crank your camper in. Please make note, this is not going to be an easy process. You are going to have to use a little elbow grease. However, it is a much better alternative than being stuck where you're at or waiting on the availability of a mobile RV technician. Easier to just get this cranked in and take it to your nearest service center. All right, so one of the other things you're going to want to do before you go inside, a lot of your newer models come with a tankless on-demand water heater. You do have to flip this switch outside to make sure that you can use your monitor panel inside, which controls your temp. All you're going to do is flip this to the open signal. That will cut the water heater on out here and allow you access to your monitor panel inside to change the temp to your desired temperature. Last but not least, you're going to want to get your stabilizer jacks down. On a Hemisphere, they are going to be electric in the front and in the back. And it is a tandem system, so both sides will come down at the same time. You'll look for this extend setting. You'll hold this button until they come all the way down. It is important to keep in mind that these are not load-bearing jacks. They are simply stabilizing jacks. So please do not raise your camper up off the ground with these. You will break them. As soon as you hear a different whine in the motor, like that, you're going to let go. Your camper is now stable. Come on inside. We're going to check out a few setup tips and tricks in there. First thing you're going to want to do when you get inside, you're going to want to run your slides out so you have some room to move around. Really hard to unpack a camper if you don't have adequate space. So you'll come over here. These are going to be for your 2 awnings because you do get 2 on this camper. These will be your 2 slides. They are opposing, both in the living area. You will hold these to out until it goes all the way out. Do remember, you're going to want to listen for the sound there. That lets you know that it is all the way out and gives an extra second or 2 for both of your motors in each end of your slide to stay in synchronization with each other. Next, you're going to want to make sure that all your food that you brought with you made it through your trip to get to where you're going. So a good way to do that is, not everybody has a temp gun. You can come in here and touch these shelves, and that's a good indicator of whether it's cold or not. Hard to see in this video, but that is clear condensation on those glass shelves, as most RV shelves in your fridge will be. So that's a good indicator you didn't lose any power, your food's still good, and this will get down to temp within a reasonable amount of time. Next, I think we all know here in Oklahoma, Texas, any of you surrounding states, it gets hot here in the summertime. So while you're getting set up, you're gonna wanna cut this AC on. On this Coleman Mach, you're gonna come over here, you'll click this center button until it goes to this display flashing. You'll turn it to cool, click it to lock it in, leave that fan on high auto. That way it kicks off when it gets to temp, and then you can change the temp to whatever you want. I personally like to put it at 55 to see if it'll ever actually get there, but most people are gonna be comfortable at 65 to 70 degrees. Now, a lot of folks like to go camping in groups, whether that's with your kids, your in-laws, or maybe just a couple of close friends. Definitely helps to have a second place to sleep. On this particular model, you do have a pull-out couch here in the living room. So what you're gonna do to get this ready for your company, a lot of these couches are gonna have Velcro sticks on the back side of the cushions. That way you don't lose those. You're simply gonna take those off, and this is a tri-fold couch. You will lift from the bottom right here, and it'll pull up, and then you're gonna pull it out. There are secondary support legs you're gonna wanna kick out just so it doesn't collapse in on you. Gently set it down on the floor here, and then your final piece, you're gonna flip this back part down, and you have a full queen size bed. Anybody who thinks this isn't comfortable, I'm about 230 pounds. I've got back issues. This is comfy, and if Brittany doesn't hurry up, I'm gonna go to sleep in a minute. Next, I imagine you're gonna want hot water at some point on your camping trip. Once you've turned on that switch outside, you're just gonna come in here, monitor panel's conveniently located in the bathroom. Hit the power button, that's off, this is on, and then you can control your set temp. It goes all the way up to 125. So whatever you wanna do, I guess 122 will have to work. I don't know anyone who takes a shower that hot, but it can get there if you want to. Very important, do a hand test. Sometimes things are a little hotter than they seem. Wouldn't want anyone to burn themselves at 122. So make sure, just like at home, you stick a hand in there, check that temp first. Last but not least, inside you have a VersaTilt bed in your master bedroom. This is on an electric switch. It's not 1972. We're not gonna hand crank it down. All you're gonna do is come over here to your switch, set it to down, and your bed will start to slide down just like this. Important to note about the motor under the rear side of your bed. This does support the weight of the mattress on it and the backer that moves. It does not support the weight of an adult human being while you're doing that. So if you're sitting on it, trying to move it while you or your significant other may be sitting there, it will not move, and you may run the risk of burning out the motor. So make sure the bed is clear of any heavy debris, supplies, whatever else may be on there, your 100-pound Great Dane. Make sure they're off before you slide that up and down to avoid any issues. Thanks for checking out this 2025 Forest River Salem Hemisphere 271RL. I'm Mike over at RV Connection. We hope to see you guys soon.